Hello everyone and welcome to the second episode of this Building a Micronation series. In the last video we built this tiny farm village. If you didn't see that video yet, I recommend you to watch that first. In this video we're going to start focusing on this area of the map. We find a major oil field in this area that we are of course going to exploit. And because of all that money that will come in from this massive oil boom, we can also start creating our first city in the country. As always, I first start with terraforming the terrain a bit so it's suitable to build a new little village here. I'm placing down this oil field over here. In my opinion, it's quite an ugly building / terrain, so we are not going to focus too much on the area. Next to this oil field and little industrial area, we're going to make the village where all the workers of the oil field can live. I'm placing this road layout down for that and also connect the roads up to the waterfront over here. Here oil tankers have the possibility to quickly load up oil. I'm detailing the side of the harbor with these big boulders and place some trees and bushes around it. Also I'm adding this little custom storage yard next to the harbor where trucks can park and load off. In the village, we are just going to zone everything quickly with the North American low-rise housing. Place some basic services like a primary school, police station and medical clinic. And once that's done, of course we also need to connect the village via a highway to the outside world. Now it's time to unpause the game and let everything grow. To blend in with the rest of the country, this village needs some farmland around it. If you already watched the last episode, you already know how this works, so we're not going to spend too much time on that. Now the country has some major tax revenue from the oil industry, it's time to build our first little city over here. This is nothing compared yet to the major capital city I'm going to build in the future episodes. So if you like what you're seeing, please consider to subscribe to the channel and like this video. To build the city, I'm first clearing the terrain. And then I plop down this road network. After that, I place down the basic services a city needs. These are, for example, a bigger police station, firehouse, elementary and high school, a university and a college. Also, I place down a medical clinic, so not yet a big hospital. I will save this to place down in the capital city in a later stage of these episodes. Because it's a city, we're also going to place down a few high-rise buildings, plus lots of commercial and office space. For now, I will stop talking for you to enjoy this time-lapse where you can see me building the first parts of the city. I started noticing there's a lot of need for hearses to pick up the deceased, so here in the top corner of the city I'm quickly placing down a cemetery. This is also not really my favorite asset to place down here since it's so square and doesn't really blend in with the area here. So big chance in the future I'll replace this with another kind of death care service, maybe even in another place on the map. Since we build a lot of high-rise and medium-density buildings in the city, the edges of the town will get some more low-density housing around it for the more rich people in the city. I chose for this little messy design, so in the end I can place lots of trees between the houses, so again the city nicely blends in with the forest area around it. Throughout this time-lapse you see me placing a lot of these little office parks, if you can call it like that, to keep up with the demand for jobs in the city. From time to time I also demolish some of the medium density housing to replace them with commercial zones, also to keep up with the demand for that. These little park spaces I'm building here will act like a sort of barrier between the big city and low-rise housing I will place down later around it. This also gives a nice green look to the city to not end up with just one big concrete jungle. Like a few minutes ago, here again I'm placing down a little messy, but in the end, nice looking low density housing area. Of course, every big city needs some kind of huge grocery store, or maybe even big shopping mall. And without really planning it, I ended up with this empty area, and I thought this was a perfect place for this kind of building. Not too far away from downtown, but also very close to the suburbs. The people that live in these suburbs probably would prefer it to shop at this place instead of driving all the way to downtown to get their groceries, which in my opinion makes it the perfect spot to place down a building like this. This big grocery store of course also attracts some smaller businesses around it who want to take profit of all the clients that the big store is attracting. Because of that, I'm placing down a few more commercial zones and fill the rest of the area up with some greenery. The population of the city is rising faster and faster, so it's time to place down some more educational buildings. I totally forgot to place down a college. I think the best place for one of these is in the middle of downtown. A lot of students can't afford a place here, and it's close to a lot of public transport options. To also connect the city more up to the rest of the country, I'm adding more farmland over here. I'm also going to skip through this since it's a little boring to watch too. This is what I ended up with. Now the city is slowly starting to finish, it's also time to give it a name. Because it's placed in a valley and it's not a huge city, but more like a town, for now I'm going to call it Valley Town. But if you do have any better suggestions though, please let me know in the comments, and who knows, the government of Rickland will consider renaming the city. After some more detailing and little tweaks to the city, this is what we ended up with. To me, the area around the city still looks a little empty, so we're going to continue building 2 more little farm villages around the city in the next episode. I hope you enjoyed this short video, and of course, don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Thank you so much for watching, see you next time.